And welcome back. Gentlemen, I want you to take a look at this picture from April 2009. It shows Venezuela and Iran's ministers of defense signing an agreement of military cooperation in Caracas, Venezuela. Roger, tell us a little bit about what some of that military cooperation between Venezuela and Iran entails.
We do know that a part of this relationship is the development of a nuclear military program. And that's relatively fresh information that we're giving you exclusively at this point. Because some of our sources are saying that the cover story about Russia, etc., initially Chavez denied that he was looking at a nuclear program, and 2 weeks later he signs with the Russians.
He denied it at first, and then 2 weeks later he signs a massive nuclear deal with Russia.
And some of our sources that are concerned with what he's up to in Venezuela, I'm not talking about opposition figures, I'm talking about people in the regime, have said, no, 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 this is a military nuclear program.
And you have sources close to this regime.
We have, the vast majority of the sources that we have are in Venezuela, and they are not opposition figures. They are people within the regime who are, God bless them, Christians, who are pro-American, who are worried about Chavez turning Venezuela into a rogue state.
You are giving us exclusive information here, Roger, from on the ground, inside Venezuela, inside the regime. You're not going to hear this anywhere else. And so this is a military nuclear type cooperation between Iran and Venezuela. No one's talking about it, but it's happening.
It's an appalling situation that the United States doesn't seem to be paying attention to this problem at all.
And I can't wait to address what the U.S., what the Obama administration is doing about this slight problem in our backyard.
Back in 2006, when Hugo Chavez visited Tehran, he waxed very poetic about the fact that he liked how Iran does domestic security. What he was actually talking about was something called the Basij. This is the Iranian regime's domestic militia. These are the guys that beat the protesters in the streets in the last year.
Yes, in June 2009, that election, which Ahmadinejad, obviously flawed election to say the least, they were in the streets, this Basij that Alon is referring to, literally cracking skulls and killing people, peaceful protesters, murdering. And as you said, Hugo Chavez admires this kind of statecraft.
And the Basij, quite frankly, there's a very good chance that the Basij is coming to the Western Hemisphere. Because over the last several years, ever since that 2006 visit, there is circumstantial evidence that there are elements of the Iranian military on the ground training Venezuelan security forces in domestic security procedures. So if you liked the crackdown on the Green Movement, you're going to love what happens to the Venezuelan opposition.
Okay, we're coming to Caracas. Roger, I wanted to ask you about a weapon shipment along these lines again, a massive weapon shipment seized by the Israelis last year. Massive, I believe 500 tons of weapons
500
coming
tons.
From Iran to Venezuela.
Right. Well, it was from Venezuelan territory, left the port of Guanta in Venezuela, which is a port we understand that has a heavy Iranian security presence. The weapons were seized on the vessel Frankop by the Israelis. Big crates of material, including grenades and Katyusha rockets, some missiles of Iranian manufacture, bound apparently, according to Israeli sources, to Syria and eventually to Hezbollah. The crates were labeled in Spanish. So when the Russians talk about selling arms to Venezuela, this isn't normal commerce. This is promoting not only an arms race, but pushing weapons into the Western Hemisphere, into the hands of terrorists and drug traffickers. And it's scandalous, actually, that that at the same time that Medvedev is eating hamburgers with President Obama, Putin goes to Caracas and does the real business. And we have nothing to say about this.
$8 billion, I believe, in deals between Russia and Venezuela in the past few years. $8 billion between Russia and Venezuela will come.